It's time now for Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Catch up with everything that's going on at Anderson Speedway with Rick Dawson and Gary Mong.
Good evening. Welcome to Track Talk. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong. We are at the Mounds Mall Special Events Studio. Catch your breath.
Right.
We're having a good time this evening. We appreciate you spending the time with us. We've got a half hour here to talk about racing, not only at Anderson Speedway, but there was racing all over the place last week.
Some track down to Indianapolis, some big 2.5 mile.
Actually, there were two big races in Indianapolis.
That's true.
The Indianapolis Speedrome, this is the first time they've done this, I think, ever, or maybe in a long time, but they had this Tony Stewart Classic for midgets.
Yes.
And somebody with a very familiar name won that.
He did.
Was it Kyle?
Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton, veteran of the Little 500, graduated from the Kenyon Midgets and went down and beat the, I think they were USAC. I don't know. No, they weren't. It wasn't USAC sanctioned, but it was Larry Curry. Of course, he has open wheel roots, the promoter down there, and they had a big midget show, and I haven't talked to Larry, but it sounds like it went off real well. I'm sure he had a huge crowd. I heard him actually talking about it on the radio broadcast Sunday at the race.
You know, Don and Mel should be proud of a lot of these young drivers that they've got in their series and had in the past here. We've had even 2 or 3 of our own that's won the Little 500 that's moved up through the ranks there. So they should be pretty proud of that series that they've created and developed this young talent.
There is not, I mean, a lot of successful drivers like to put their name to it or anything, but there are very few mentors in this sport. And Don and Mel, they've been around for, I don't think you'd mind saying, they've been around for quite a long time.
Yes.
And the experience that those two men have is just unreproachable. And it shows that they can transfer that experience over into very young drivers and impress upon them how to drive a race car and how to behave at a racetrack and how to win. And by golly, it's sure. And I'm so proud and thankful that we're associated with them at Anderson Speedway. But congratulations to Kyle Hamilton down Speed. Congratulations to Kyle Busch.
It must have been Kyle weekend, huh?
Yeah, he's on a roll.
He is, isn't he?
He won the Brickyard 400.
In the Xfinity race on Saturday.
Yeah. Eric Jones did not have a good race on Saturdays. In his interview, he said the car wasn't quite right, and he was trying to get everything he could out of it and lost it and kind of wadded it up a little bit. So he'll be back. But
he will.
Chase ran a good race both days.
Yes, he did.
And Ryan Blaney ran
he got second on Saturday, didn't
he? Yes, and he had it and missed his mark coming out of turn 2 on the last lap, and
Kyle got him.
Kyle snuck under him. But actually some decent racing. It got a little boring Sunday, but it was actually ended up being a good race. The new package kind of helped it a little bit. It didn't completely cure the problem, but it did a pretty good job.
But to come and see when those restarts and they get 4 and 5 abreast, you weren't seeing that in the past at Indianapolis. So hopefully they're going in the right direction with this package.
And Saturday night at Anderson Speedway, we had a special guest and his wife there, good friends of mine for many years, veteran ASA. He might have been president of ASA there towards the latter years. I'm not sure. But Joe Balish and his wife Tammy were at the Speedway. Yes. Tammy is actually from Anderson, and they're on the last part of a 2-week vacation, and so they decided to come back to Anderson. Of course, Joe couldn't stay away from the racetracks. He was at Lucas Oil Raceway Friday night and at the big track on Saturday, but he made sure that he was at Anderson Speedway Saturday night.
Yes.
Had a great time, great conversation. My gosh, I'm not exactly sure what his title is, but he is in charge of NASCAR International.
Yes.
So he takes care of all the European stuff, all the Mexican stuff, and there's a lot of racing that we don't even know about that goes on over there.
With NASCAR, didn't know that either.
And they do a lot of driver development. In fact, if you've been watching the Xfinity series, is Daniel Suarez, I know his last name's Suarez, who is in the Gibbs racing program.
Yes.
actually is one of his drivers, development drivers that has come from Mexico.
Wow.
And he's making a name of it. But Joe travels all over the world and knows everybody.
He does.
I mean, he showed me some of the phone numbers on his cell phone, and it's a pretty impressive list.
It is.
In fact, he told me, and not to name drop, but he told me he was talking to Roger Penske on Saturday down at the Xfinity race. And he said he told Roger where he was going Saturday night. He says, daggone. He said, if I didn't already have this commitment, he said, I'd be at Anderson Speedway Saturday night watching them figure eights. So
a great tribute and commitment to Anderson Speedway. Yes.
Yeah. And Joe, of course, was with ASA for several years, him and Mark Gundrum. And they know Anderson Speedway pretty well, and we get a lot of PR through them and a lot of connections. And who knows, every time I'm around them, I drop drivers' names, and you never know what might happen down the road. So thanks to them for coming.
I guess real quick, on Friday night down at Lucas Oil Raceway, Indianapolis, the Super Series was down there along with the ARCA, and I guess they had two good shows down there as well. Yeah.
Travis Braden, who ran the Redbud 300 just the week before, actually came from 10th place and won the ARCA race.
It's his first ARCA win, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I've already forgotten who won the late model race.
Yes, that person did. I went blank through.
How about John Hunter Nemechek?
There you go, John Hunter Nemechek. Up and real good.
I think that's two in a row for him down at Raceway Park.
Yeah.
So.
And then Thursday night there was the Silver Crown, which I'm not sure. Didn't even look to see who won that.
That was Cody Swanson, I believe, won that.
Yes.
It was the Swanson brothers show. Aaron Pierce set fast time, and the Swansons ended up winning the race. Went green to checker. That one might have been a little bit of a yawner.
Yeah.
But I understand they did have a decent crowd. And Bob Sargent, who promoted Raceway Park on the ARCA race and CRA race on Friday, worked very hard. And Adam Mackey, that used to be announced a lot for CRA, is actually on Bob's staff now. So, and I understand they had a lot better crowd than had been in the past. Good. So hopefully we're helping Raceway Park make the turn and build it up. And in fact, talking about Raceway Park, this Friday night is another evening of their
Friday night shows.
Friday night, it's a series actually down there. There is points being kept in the whole 9 yards. This week's kind of different than most. We got the Vors Compact Touring Series that is going to be down there, along with the CRA Street Stocks, and they're going to be running 125 laps at Raceway Park.
Wow.
And that show the racing starts at 7:45.
Yes.
Bring your pea shooters and slingshots so you can get the flagman in the flag stand.
Thanks. Should be a nice night,
it's
though.
It's always exciting to see what you wear in the flag stand.
Now, you gave me crap the last time, but it got chilly that evening, and I'm glad I had a shirt on there, the other shirt.
Kenny and Brian and Scotty are much more flamboyant when it comes to attire in the flag stand.
Well, the last time that Kenny was flamboyant, you didn't like it too well.
No, that didn't work out too good.
It didn't work out too well.
The last time he was in the flag stand that I remember, it was a tuxedo in the 500, which, I mean, the race was great, but there were some internal issues afterwards. So.
Let's go beyond that.
You want to?
Yes.
But this Saturday, and it's only $15 to get into Lucas Oil Raceway. Right. If you've never been down there, it's a beautiful place to watch a race.
Randy Simpson's really getting it turned around.
They really make you feel at home. And the concessions are a little pricier than you're used to, especially at Anderson Speedway, but they're good. Go down there and have a great evening. These evenings now, we're in that perfect time of year where, it may be really hot during the day, but when it comes race time, the sun goes down. It's just perfect.
Yes.
And if it doesn't rain anymore, maybe the skeeters will stay away.
There you go. I'm all for that.
We had some racing at Anderson Speedway Saturday night. We had the street stocks were there. Short car count, and I'm not sure why. Maybe the street stocks were, saving their stuff to go to Raceway Park Friday night. That wasn't our intention at the first of the year when we were working out the schedule with CRA and Randy down at Raceway Park, but so be it. But they still put on a good show. Put on a good show. Nobody had anything for Josh Poor, though. I mean, he's just tough.
He is tough. And he knows how to use outside line.
He showed his diversity Saturday night, too.
Yes, he did.
We'll get to that in a minute. But Josh set fast time, 13.983 for you folks that like to keep keep score and keep records. That's pretty quick in a street stock around the track. And Josh won the heat race, and then
won the feature as well, too.
Josh turned around and won the feature, followed by Willie Dehart. Andrew Cook finished in third, and Jeff Hopkins was fourth. And Missy Baginski, in her second race of the season, finished fifth. So congratulations to Josh Poor. We also had the Markham Welding Pro Compacts, and we had 22 of those strong on the property when we started. Adam Lee, who's won a couple of features at the track this year, set fast time. And to give you a little comparison, I think the street stock was 13.983. Adam's qualifying time was 14.633.
About a second.
Yeah.
A little over a second.
And in the heat race, congratulations to veteran Thundercar racer Trent Gosser. Won the first heat race driving for Mike Whitaker. And Ricky Tharp, what a win. I mean, I wasn't out there to see it, and I wish I had him because it sounded like it was a veteran move.
He made one of those passes that, you're right, a veteran move pass.
And pretty slick, but he came in there and he won the second heat race. And then in the feature, it was a really good feature. They really mixed it up good. Adam Lee ended up on top, and Matt Tharp was coming through the fields. And I talked to him after the race, and he just run out of laps because his car was really fast.
It was coming on.
I think he had something for Adam. And by and large, it was a good. I watched this one from the turn 3 ramp, and that's where you can usually see guys pinching each other off coming off turn 2. And it was a really clean race as far as I'm concerned. I didn't see anybody, get threatened and then pinch somebody off one way or the other. It was really a good race. A lot of cars up front. Matt Tharp was second. Kevin Harmon, who had a fast car, always has a fast car, was third. Trent Gosser, who won the heat race, was fourth. And Jerry Dane hopped in Jim Warner's number 9 and finished in 5th place.
And I was impressed with the car count. We had a great car count, Pro Compacts, well over 20 strong.
22, I said when I first started.
Well,
this portion.
I was busy at the moment.
You were. What, you were, or your brain cells?
Yes, both.
And then, unfortunately, we had a little controversy in one of our premier races of the year. I absolutely hate it when that happens, but it is what it is. We had the 66th annual National Crown with the Hearts. I elected to go with our new division this year. Was afraid when I did this first year we might have been a little short on cars, but hoping it would pick up. It didn't to my satisfaction, but it's still, they put on a great race.
They did.
Jeff Swinford and Ronnie Rose were,
the battle was there,
nose to nose, and by all accounts I didn't get to see. I watched it up until I think we had a red flag, didn't we, for Jeff Hopkins' car kind of imploded and made a mess, and we had a red flag, and I helped clean up oil. And after I got done with that, I'd had enough, so I went back and sat down. But I understand it was pretty. I had some fans tell me, it was a great race, even though we had a short car count, and it was a clean pass that Ronnie made on him. Unfortunately, in post-race tech, the 8 car that or 8 or 88, whatever Ronnie was driving, was found to have a roller cam, which is specifically spelled out in our rules that you can't have it. But since it was a bigger race, and I wanted to make sure, because I absolutely despise disqualifications. In fact, I've taken that prerogative away from our tech people. I did it actually last year. They can't disqualify or penalize anybody, because I don't, if at all possible. I mean, there are certain circumstances, and this just happened to unfortunately be one, where it is a distinct performance advantage and does change the outcome of the race. I mean, there are some tech things that, aren't as serious, that, you can penalize laps, or I don't like to do a fine. I mean, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you penalize laps or something. But our whole idea is to keep all the cars as fair and even as possible.
That's right.
And so, a lot of times we'll have cars from another track show up, and they don't
quite jive up with our rules.
100%. So we figure out a way to add weight or do something with the distribution of the weight or whatever to make them compatible. But unfortunately, a roller cam is what I'm told, and all my research, trust me, I know a whole lot more about roller cams now than I ever wanted to. R2 are a distinct advantage. So unfortunately, yesterday, we made the decision to go ahead and we had to disqualify the 88. So Jeff Swinford is the winner of the National Crown.
And his first, yes.
Ronnie came out. Ronnie is I want to take just a quick aside here because I don't want to stir up any bad feelings, because obviously somebody's going to be happy and somebody's not going to be happy at all. And I've got to say, everybody involved were very professional, dignified. There was no problems with the car owner. Couldn't have asked for a better situation there. I know they're extremely dissatisfied, and what happens in the future, I don't know. But Ronnie Rose, anybody that's been to Anderson Speedway in the last 10, 15 years knows Ronnie Rose and knows what a quality driver
yes,
he is. And especially this year, I've got to say he's handled himself in a professional manner at the racetrack, which I've been trying to work with him for years, and represents the sport and his sponsors and the racetrack as a champion very well. He's won the National Crown in the past. I'm sure he's going to win more in the future. He's got the late model, and I know it's a little bit of a setback, but hey, you got to put it behind you and go forward and do bigger and better things in the future. So I know Ronnie's chin's down, but he's got a great heritage, especially with his dad, and they know racing, and they'll be back strong.
Even with what happened with the car and stuff, he drove a great race.
He did.
They all did. They all did.
Good, clean race.
Yes,
and
it was.
And this race, I have historically, this race, as much as I like figure eight racing, since day one that we owned the racetrack and had the first National Crown with us, I've dreaded this night every year. It just seems like there's something going on. You remember the first year, and it's been 19 years ago, so I can say it, but that had to be the funniest thing if you were in the stands seeing me in the middle of Gene Houston and Joe McKinney out in the infield trying to keep them apart.
That's what makes the National Crown what it is, though.
But Nick Warner was second, Bruce McFall third, Larry Sutherland fourth, and Larry Swinford was fifth. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about somebody that's very knowledgeable in racing. One of our good friends, Ken De La Bastide, is going to be with us. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
Heart attack, stroke, serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care, with a state-designated Level 3 Trauma Center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
Honey, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings, or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
MoFab Incorporated, where imagination is the only limitation. We serve residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal customers as your metals warehouse and fabrication center. We do all types of fabrication using the latest technology with unmatched speed, accuracy, and durability on any substrate. Our ornamental division handles all types of interior and exterior work, including rails, fences, gates, and more. So contact us at mofabbing.com to fabricate your dreams of tomorrow today.
You won't believe these deals? They're too good to be true. You cannot miss this special. We're going to give you so much off, you won't believe it. Actual mileage may vary. Price does not include tax, title, and license. Some assembly required. Batteries not included. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Keep in a cooler place. It is highly unlikely that any sentiments expressed above in any way coincide with those.
Wait, what'd they just say? At Auto Farm McCrocklin Ford in Middletown, we're not here to give you fast-talking deals. We take the time to make sure you understand what you're buying to make sure it meets your budget. If you're at Auto Farm McCrocklin Ford in Middletown, you're at the right place.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
We're taking care of business.
Bachman Tuner Overdrive as we come back.
We both got that one right.
Very first concert I ever seen. Down in the convention
How many
center.
first concerts have you
wait a
seen?
minute. Never mind. That was ZZ Top.
You told me so many different.
It was ZZ Top. Sorry. We're back real quick. Time's flying by, but we haven't talked about this Saturday night.
That's right.
Herald Bulletin Night at the Races, featuring the USSA Mel Kenyon midgets in the Bob Carey Memorial race.
That's a 50-lap
special 50-lap race. Honoring racer Bob Carey, who's going to have a memorial dedicated in his honor on August the 22nd at Maplewood Cemetery, along with the McGonigal Engine Performance Late Models and a Markham Welding Pro Compacts and Thunder Roasters. 4 big divisions this Saturday night. Speedway. Gates open at 5, and we will race at 8. It looks like the weather's going to be perfect. And on the line with us, and I also wanted to say, I mentioned it a little earlier, I wanted to say a special thank you to Josh Poor and Jeff Hopkins, who came to us Saturday night, knew we were a little short on cars in the National Crown. I don't like doing this, but hopped in, wanted to know if they could start the race. Josh's car not set up the oil pan, so he started losing oil pressure, and instead of blowing up the motor, he pulled off. Jeff Hopkins didn't care, didn't know, whatever, and did something to it, but there was parts and oil over the place. But thanks to those guys for thinking of the fans.
That's right.
So when you see them two guys, thank them because they're thinking of you. But on the line with us this evening is our good friend Ken De La Bastide from the Anderson Herald Bulletin. How are you doing tonight, Ken?
Doing okay now. I'm in my air-conditioned house, man. It's pretty hot outside.
It is hot.
There you go. You had a big weekend of racing. Where did you go racing Friday night down Raceway Park?
Raceway Park Friday, Saturday qualifying at IMS, National Crown at Anderson Speedway, and Sunday, Brickyard 400. Yes, it was a busy weekend.
Did you see some good racing at all those venues?
I got to tell you, honestly, the best racing I saw was the late model weekend at Anderson Speedway. The Anderson 100 and the Redbud, but probably the 2 best races I saw over that span of time.
Yeah,
the CRA race down at Lucas Oil was pretty good. The ARCA race was interesting because of the run by Travis Braden, who's raced there at Anderson. I mean, he lost a lap early, got that lap back as a lucky dog. Team made the right call, took 4 tires on the last pit stop. He went from 5 seconds down to win by 3 seconds in 40 laps.
Yeah, I watched the end of that race. It was a little boring on TV, but I talked to somebody that was down there that if you were, it might have been you this afternoon, if you were able to focus and watch Travis come from 10th place, it was a pretty interesting race.
It was. And, the Brickyard was the Brickyard. I mean, NASCAR doesn't have that aero package, whatever, down at all. I mean,
but it was better than last year.
I think the only green flag pass was like on lap 12 when Logano passed Carl Edwards. The rest of them were either on pit stops or a restart.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the restarts were interesting, but that was about it as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, and all the drivers said they had 3 laps to make a pass. Other than that, they weren't going to move forward.
And then after Eric was,
yeah. I saw a great Anderson 100 for the Jegs cars, and Redbud was a good race. So, that was bad. I saw, 4 out of 6 ain't bad.
Yeah, you see a lot of racing a week.
That's not bad,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned Josh Poor and Jeff Hopkins. I mean, it was great what those guys did. Josh almost got nailed in the crossover.
He did.
Yeah, tell him.
But Josh,
Terry, he almost got nailed. I think that's when he decided that, hey, I'm not going to do this.
But Josh has ran in the figure 8 division before, so he's no stranger to it. But in that car, he is.
Yeah, but it was unfortunately there wasn't a whole lot of cars there, but it was a good show. I mean, Ronnie Rose and Jeff Swinford put on a heck of a show.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah, it was
one of those classic battles.
And I thought that front-wheel drive race was great, too.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, it really was. Those guys are putting on good shows, front-wheel drive.
Well, thank you, Ken. Tell us a little bit about the Herald Bulletin Night this Saturday night. What are you looking forward to seeing then?
Well, I'm first of all, I'm glad that the paper is sponsoring the night. I'm particularly glad that it's on the night of Bob Carey Memorial 50 for the Kenyan Midgets. I think that's going to be a heck of a race. I mean, they always put on a good show at Anderson. I think you do, 30 laps normally, so an extra 20 is going to make it even better. I'm going to watch Kyle O'Gara and, maybe Alexandrius Clayton Gaines will go from third to first on the last corner to win it or something.
Like he did a couple races ago.
Yeah,
yes.
like he did a couple of races ago. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's great that the track is honoring Bob Carey. A lot of people don't know Bob Carey, but in 32 he was like the top rookie down at the Indianapolis 500 and actually was leading the race, made a pit stop that took 20 minutes long.
Wow.
Yeah, 20 minutes. And came back and finished fourth.
Wow.
And he was predicted to win the 33 race, but unfortunately a month before the Indy 500, he died in a racing accident out in California. But he was a national champion and has a lot of family still in the Anderson area, and it's great that he's being honored. Always look forward to the late models. I think that's going to, mechanical engine performance, late models, putting on good shows. I mean, I'm looking for more of that. And, we got the compacts back and the roadsters, to be a good night. And Rick, kudos to you, man, because, I think last Saturday you put on a good show, but car count wasn't what you hoped, and you told the fans, bring your ticket next week, I'll give you half price off.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
On the adult ticket, I mean, I'm still a fan, and I'm sitting there in the stands. I mean, I want to see a good race, and I do. If it's not quite as what I advertised, I want to make sure we take care of the folks. So,
that was awesome that you did that. I mean, it was a good night of racing, but you made it even better for those fans. So,
I appreciate
you, man.
You sneaking down to Raceway Park Friday night?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a full. Go ahead.
Sorry?
We'll give you a full report.
You do that.
All right.
It should be a good race.
We're down to our last minute.
25 laps, 2,000 to win for the CRA Street Stocks. Yeah, it should be a pretty good show.
Yeah.
But,
we're down to our last minute, Ken. I appreciate you taking the time with us this evening. We'll talk to you many, many more times throughout the year, and we'll definitely see you Saturday night at Anderson Speedway.
Oh, I will be there.
All right.
All right, see you, Ken.
Ken De La Bastille catches racing column tomorrow in the Anderson Herald Bulletin. Again, this Saturday night, it's Herald Bulletin Night at the races at Anderson Speedway with the Bob Carey Memorial featuring the USSA Mel Kenyon Midgets, 50 laps, the McGonigal Engine Performance Late Models, the Markham Welding Pro Compacts, and Thunder Roadsters, all at Anderson Speedway. And
Gates of 5 racing at 8 o'clock.
And by the way, we made the final plans for our championship wrestling Labor Day weekend.
And hello, and Jenny. Hope you're listening and hope you're doing well.
We thank you for taking the time with us this evening, and we'll look forward to doing the same thing, same time next week. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson, and we will see you at the racetrack.